fit in? Because you obviously mentioned that you mentor people who want to be business owners, sole traders,
Yeah.
entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
How does that fit into the corporate world then?
So no, that's two different sides of it. So I can work with corporates. So I also go into deliver training into different industries.
What sort of training do you deliver?
So my most recent was I went into a large building company and had to talk to 30 men on mindset. And none of them really wanted to be there. I could tell the audience that, the negativity. And my opening line was, I'm not corporate and I'm not boring. And we're all going to get through this together. And I just broke the ice with that. I'm not there to, dictate from a PowerPoint set of slides, but it was around Mental Health Awareness Week, which we have in the UK.
Yes.
So it was a couple of weeks ago. And by the end of it, you had these people that are working on building sites that don't actually really get the understanding of talking to each other in a way. And it's just that getting them to ask, are you okay? Okay is not good enough. No, I'm good, and just developing a little bit
and
more sense.
See the truth behind the polite response.
That's right. Yeah. So that was some corporate training, and that was going into a company. I've been working with some schools where I've been working, and in education, there's something called the Gatsby framework, and that's to do with work experience for young learners. Become very difficult for them to get employment or in work experience in companies because of health and safety and lots of the bureaucracy and red tape, really.
When you say young learners, how young or what sort of age group?
The ones I'm working with at the moment are 14. So this week they're sitting their GCSEs. So quite a nervous week for them.
14? I thought that was 16.
14. No, you're right. I'm sorry. Yeah, 16. They're 15. They're 15. I'm thinking I did deal with some 14-year-olds as well.
When you're the 15-year-olds sit mock
the 15s
exams probably, don't they?
Yeah. So it's about now. So with that, I was going into some schools and I was interviewing them. I was giving them entrepreneur training, and they had to go away and do their own projects. So they've been feeding back to me about, what businesses they may like to run in the future. And actually there was three of them that have already got Etsy accounts. They're already using to sell some jewelry. There was three young girls that are selling jewelry. And the reason they started that is they were sitting on the sideline. One of their brothers was doing something, I think motorbiking or something, and they had to go with parents. They weren't allowed to be left at home.
Yes.
So they were sitting there bored one day and an idea sparked and off they went.
Isn't that wonderful to see?
Oh, definitely.
And I mean, heads down to them, because I tried to sell on Etsy. I had a creative business. It was really, really hard.
Yeah.
And then I was talking to someone who I found her product. Actually, I think we met in a Facebook group, and then she showed me her Etsy page and said, if you don't have a minimum of 100 products on there, then you don't even come up in searches.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like my thing was unique items.
Yeah.
So I basically gave up in the end.
Yeah.
So really, that's really good to see that they are going with it, and obviously they must have enough product.
With some of the other learners, it made them think about if they wanted in the future. We're very much education is, you have all your certificates, you go into a corporate job, you work your 9 to 9. It used to be 9 to 5, but 9 to 9 is the norm these days.
But do you teach them that when you become an entrepreneur, you swap the 9 to 5 to 24/7?
You do swap it, but at the same time, you've got everything's for you. In the corporate world, you're working for someone else.
Yeah, that's true.
When you're working for yourself, you're working for you, and you can direct it in whichever way you want to. So you can direct it to, am I doing this? Am I enjoying this? Yes, I am. Can I change things? Yes, I can. Whereas if you're in a corporate world, you have to do things your boss tells you to, even if you agree or don't agree. You've got to do those things.
And if you come up with good ideas to change the business, then it benefits somebody else, not you.
Definitely.
That's true.
Definitely. So with the young learners, that's in the school, and they're doing that to meet their Gatsby framework. And it means that they meet the criteria for having work experience. At the end of it, I'll be going back in and they do a presentation and they get awards for it. So I'm excited. I'm back there soon and seeing their end result. So in between, I've been working with them, delivering some sessions on Teams and going into the classroom with a classroom assistant and just, you know,
that must be
moving them forward.
incredibly rewarding.
Yeah, with my background in education, I've always gone back into education and always gone back to sort of supporting, because you know, people are, you know, they've got the ideas, and some of them come up with some ideas that I hadn't even thought of. So it gives me
It's a
some
two-way
knowledge.
learning.
Yes,
Teaching is very much a two-way learning, isn't it?
definitely. I mean, social media for me is, you know, the old traditions of, you know, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn is a main one that I use, but they're looking at TikTok and they're looking at X and things like that. I stay away from those. They're not something that I would want to go into, but that's where they are.
I mean, I was really shocked. I did a digital skills training early last year, so nearly a year and a half ago now. And I learned that even then it had already been some considerable amount of time that TikTok had actually overtaken Google for searches and buying stuff. It's like, really? What kind of a cave am I living in?
Yeah.
Not even realizing that TikTok was such a big thing.
It's not something that I will openly, honestly say, it's not something that I understand. My business
This is
doesn't
where
really,
I feel old.
Yeah, that's right. And they're talking to me about, have you seen this? Have you seen that? And it, you know, on my telephone, it comes up, you know, a notification from TikTok, and I just swipe past. I'm like,
why don't you just turn it off?
Yeah.
The notification that is.
I think it's connected to my Facebook, and I need to sort of go into my phone and just swipe it. And it says I've got this many followers on there, and I'm like, I don't know how. I really don't know how.
When you're not even on there.
No.
Oh, well.
So, you know,
Life's mysteries.
Yeah, my business side is sort of not at a TikTok level, even though I know that people get some great, you know, some great services from it and some great marketing.